Welcome to the playoffs, the Underdog Cup. We are in, well, one of the final few matches. We're in the best of 5 series right now. We have Towers of Doom as our starting map again, and it is actually the match that we talked about during the group stage. We have the KD Seagents against the KD Agents. Now, that's not going to be confusing at all, of course, but it should be quite a bit of fun. I mean, both of the teams did fairly well, obviously, in their group and made it out. So now we're going to see which one of the Agent teams is actually the better one. And just again, a quick reminder, the Underdog Cup is a tournament that we hosted for the amateur scene. The whole idea here was the teams that find themselves in HeroesLounge can participate in the tournament. So there's always like the question, if you try and make a tournament for players that are not all semi-pros or ex-professionals or whatnot, how you make that fair. And therefore, for this particular tournament, I actually partnered with HeroesLounge because they have an existing structure already where you have teams sorted into several divisions where you know exactly in which divisions you're normally not having anyone that is a little bit too high. So all the players here, they're still around Masters, High Diamond. We've had the occasional Grandmaster here as well, but they're not quite on the same level when you're looking to, let's say, the ex-pros that played within HTC, for example. So, wanted to give them a little bit of an incentive. The idea was to just boost the grassroots a little bit, and so far, I mean, they enjoyed it for sure. It was pretty fun, so I think the feedback that we got from the audience up to now was also quite nice. I think people can relate a little bit with that level of play here occasionally too. But we had some great matches, some great comebacks, some very surprising calls that sometimes worked where you thought that shouldn't work, but it's insanely entertaining. So now we're going into the playoffs. This is a smaller tournament. We had 8 teams in total, split into 2 groups of 4, and now we're down to the final 4 teams. And there is a loser's bracket attached to all of this, of course, as well. So we currently find ourselves in the first round of the winner bracket, but there's always a chance for the team to make a lower bracket run if they should lose here. Now, Hanzo gets picked as our first pick here on Towers of Doom. Has been a very, very popular map throughout the tournament. Not necessarily as the starting map, but we've seen a lot of towers. And here comes Anduin again. Okay. With Genji right away. Are we going to get some light bomb engage? Or what's the pick? Okay, they're going for Garrosh instead. But Genji still is going to be an interesting one now. Is somebody going to pick him? Or is he going to be just simply banned out? I mean, it could be that, for example, the agents are now coming in and saying, you know what, we're banning him out immediately and we're going to get rid of that. So here comes ETC and we get Rega. So yeah, give me that Ancestral. So yeah, I want to see the ban from the red team. As long as they're the first one here. Like, let's see what they are gonna ban now. Because once that we are having Anduin, Light Bomb becomes a huge thing. Any kind of Light Bomb engage is an awesome combo that has been played for ages. So a Genji ban at this point would actually go a long way. Unless they're worried about something else. Like, keep in mind, a lot of these teams actually know each other. There's data available where they can look at picks that have been made in the past, what the preferences are. You can obviously also analyze the games that have been played in the group stage. So if there's any kind of play or hero there or combo that you don't want to face up against, this might be a pick that they prefer over just getting rid of the meta choice. They get rid of Falset, for example. So ETC technically could be played with Stage Dive. That would give you then your pseudo global. Dehaka has been banned, which means that right now, if the KD agents go for Stage Dive, they are the only ones that have a global in the game and might be able to exploit this a bit. We'll see. I mean, we've seen Vikings in this tournament on Towers of Doom. We get Chromie, and there's Genji. So the Light Bomb engage is definitely a thing. I can only assume that the red team was fully aware that this is likely going to happen. But what are we now getting for the next few picks? Because you could even have ETC in the side laner role. Back in the day, in the HTC days, that was occasionally a thing because of Stage Dive. But yeah, side laner hasn't been picked on the side of the blue team yet either. So, our final 2, D.Va and Thrall, that triple frontline that we're getting again, which means that Hanzo is the only real range damage dealer. D.Va, of course, is gonna play a big role at that frontline too, and that leaves us with Time Bullet and the last pick for the KD Seagents in game number 1 of this best of 5 series. So, what's it gonna be? What is the blue team going to get? They definitely need a side laner. Need a bit more front line. They know that they're up against a Thrall Diva. And they go for the Vikings again. There they are. We had them already once, and here we have them again. Towers of Doom, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1. Towers of Doom, first game in the best of 5, and over to the left for the KD Seagens. We have Neptibus on Chromie, Joey on Anduin. Time Bullet is playing the Vikings, No Scope Ninja is playing Garrosh, and then we have Fizziv on Genji. And on the right side of the map, the KD Agents with Simply on ETC. We got Kratodel on Diva. McGiblitz is playing Rhaegar, Kani on Hanzo, and then White Tiger last but not least. Actually starting things off here with Rolling Thunder. He's playing Thrall. So we got our Green Jesus in the house too. And Olaf the Stout as a level 1 choice for the Vikings. So when it comes to Viking plays, that's going to be the focus there. Obviously also heavily anticipating and waiting for that level 16 talent to stun people out with some nice Viking flanks. But can they hold the experience here? I forgot to mention it during the draft, but as in the group stage, heroes can only be picked, or it can only be played once in the entire series, which in the best of 3 didn't really have all that much of an impact. Now, in a best of 5, this could look a little bit different. If we go at any point towards the final map, then of course there's a chance that this is going to screw a bit with the hero pool of some of the players here. Already the slide, ETC, careful. He's still on the squishy side, he needs those heals. Red-nosed reindeer Rhaegar is currently doing his thing there. Christmas is over, my friend. No more presents. So, yeah. Rumor has it the only reason why that nose is red is because Rhaegar has been developing a drinking habit lately. So that's a big problem. If Rhaegar is drunk and sees double, then you don't know who is going to heal. He comes in and immediately like heals Samuro clone or something along those lines. But each team gets their own camp. Nobody is going for anything crazy. The Vikings have split out onto 2 lanes, which means that we now have the 4-man moving and looking for kills, and they found one. They take down Hanzo. Yeah, stick that bow where the sun doesn't shine. The reason why Hanzo's spine is always so straight. Great posture for a reason. But the turn on ETC as they're trying to lock a second kill in. And yeah, let's go, the KD Seagens. Are there KD B-gens? Is that a thing? Do they exist too? That would be kind of fun. If you had a full team of that. But, well, I suppose we don't. Definitely a bit of an homage though, when we're talking about the names here. But right now, on level 4, we got Aggression Matrix from Diva. I kind of like Mech. Like, honestly, never really been a big Diva player, but just concept of mechs in general, insanely fun. Pacific Rim, for example, is really one of those things. It's a little bit of a guilty pleasure watch, or at least it was, like the first one. Not really a great movie or anything. I mean, you know from the beginning what you're going to get, and you're not looking for a great story. You're just looking at giant robots that beat giant monsters, and that's all there is to it. So a bit of popcorn, and there's your evening. But the concept of mechs was always very, very fun, especially then also like in the anime realm. So yeah, Diva making it happen up the top right, definitely a thumbs up from me. Every now and then, very, very cool. Oh, poor Vikings. And poor Hanzo! Hanzo got killed again. Shots are fired as Genji is hoping to get another kill, this time on Rhaegar, but that's not happening. But Hanzo died twice now. Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 trade. Couple of shots fired on the left, and the final altar goes over to the blue team too, which means that they are now in the lead on the core. Not that it matters too much on Towers of Doom, but obviously every single point that you can shave off is a small win. Now, level 4 for Thrall means also stacking. We are seeing him at 3 stacks right now, so has to be a bit careful on that. Chromie with 17 on her level 1. And the Vikings still controlling all of those side lanes quite nicely, which allowed the rest of the blue team to push for the structures a bit more aggressively. So they went down to the bottom of the map and already did some damage on the bell tower after they got the initial kill earlier. Vikings themselves now with spin to win. So immediately some extra clear on the waves that they have. And with that 2-kill advantage for the blue team, they find themselves in a pretty good spot. So here comes also Echo Paddle. And that as a pick makes it much more realistic that we get stage dive for ETC. If you have Echo Paddle, you can definitely play on the side lane and have the wave clear with it. So this might be one of the things that we're seeing from ETC as all of this continues. For a second I was tempted to say like, well, if he survives in the first place, because Garrosh wants that kill. Now, talking about kills, ETC still looking for that one slide to rule them all, where you can jump in and start taking them down. Thus far, that hasn't happened. We have that half-level lead by now. And D.Va is just bouncing between the top and the mid lane, always trying to make sure that they're not losing in experience. And stay right there with the Vikings. But the Alta is ready. And the big thing about the Vikings is obviously also once that you have more than one ult on the map, the Vikings can always try and come in and cheese one of them. But you have to be careful on which fights you pick, because as the Vikings still hold on to the side lanes, you are essentially playing a 4 versus 5, so you have to be careful in those team fights. And Rhaegar with another Viking kill. Olaf is the one that gets this time taken down. Good for Rhaegar. That's a chunky boy. That's some really nice food. So you move in there and you're fed for a week. That's great. But the Alta gets taken at the end of the day by the agents. So red team is able to equalize the score. The level 10 abilities, we now have also Chromie with Slowing Sands. We get the Light Bomb, of course. And X-Strike for Genji. Level 10 on the red team. No surprises here. We did get stage dive, by the way, despite the level 7 talent choice. Instead we have Mosh Pit. Now, there are a couple of interrupts available, but depending on who they hit with that, it might still look good for him. Thrall has been reset on his stacks on level 4, so he's still working on that. Really want to have that ready for your mana management and also the synergy with level 16 then later. And a no-scope ninja, time and time again, making a play trying to go for Hanzo again, who already died twice in this game. So it's really the red team that is reacting mostly. We have Thrall now on nearly 16,000 damage, whereas Chromie is sitting roughly around 18,000. And then you have camp after camp claimed. And the Vikings are getting a little bit wrecked. Not too big of a difference, but it already makes up for 1 kill, so to say. It ends up on the scoreboard here. Nobody else has fallen. Only the Vikings have been destroyed. ETC with a slide again, trying to go for Garrosh here. Not that easy. They need to really use the CC chain that they have, and I think big team fights where they can unleash everything will help them. But Hanzo, for example, needs some assistance when it comes to damage. They're not gonna easily kill with just him dishing it out there. Thrall has to go to the front, has to really bring the pain. And then Rhaegar can always come in for a quick fight. But the problem for Thrall is really that he's now back to 0. He missed another wolf, so he's not getting anything here. And the blue team gets a free set of shots up at the top left. Whereas over here on the right, D.Va was kind of delayed. I mean, the Vikings are not moving in again to extend that further, but there are at least a couple of attempts being made to occasionally annoy maybe D.Va when she's channeling or whoever else is. Still level 12 for both. Yeah, Crocodile already on his way back towards the middle. Down at the bottom of the map, the party between the 4-mans just continues. Nothing has changed here. They're just 4-manning this up. Thrall comes in. He's sitting at 3 stack. No! Misses it again! Dude, stop YOLOing them out like this. Finish the quest first. Get some assistance from ETC. Ask for a slide or anything. But that is just a bad look for you. You got reset so many times now. You can use it against the Vikings as well. Either way, no matter how you go about it, try and get that thing done. Another flip. And ET! Oh, get saved. ETC saved by Rhaegar. Yeah, I was waiting for the mosh pit, and then as I said, there comes the kill. Chromie and Genji in tandem take down the Beef Boy, and they're going for Rhaegar as well. That's a double, And all of a sudden, the red team is starting to lose control of that game. They are behind by a talent. They are behind by... I mean, it's essentially 4 kills. It's just like the Viking kills keep accumulating, so there's 2 on the board for them. But they haven't actually taken the hero down within a proper fight. And now Hanzo has a problem, and the problem translates into 0 hit points. Genji even saving himself from that tower, so he's good too. And yeah, that's just how this goes. Thrall is reset again. He's not gonna complete this. Thrall is having a tough time. He's back to 1. So yeah, the cooldown plays good role, then maybe he can stack a few more right here. But he really needs to try it here. So light bomb, X strike. They try to go for him. Thrall still surviving here. Sits at 3 stacks. There's the opportunity to get another one. The arrow, beautiful. But they only get some Vikings out of it. Thrall didn't even get a stack out of that arrow. Didn't have the cooldown, but now he's sitting at 5. So, yep, finally, we're getting somewhere. Thrall is actually getting somewhere now. One more. And honestly, I had the KD agents really packed as the favorite. They also came in as the first seed. So, kudos to the KD Seagens to already looking this good here. And that begs, of course, the big question whether or not the red team can turn the game, or if not that, then the series. No! Thrall is reset again! I didn't even see that he threw another one out. When? Was he involved in the fight, or did he just like fat finger the button and accidentally hit it on the minions? At least they retook the altar in time, so sorry, the bell tower in time, so the altar only got 4 shots out. But overall, it's 28 to 19. So taking back the bell tower at the bottom of the map, big. That's something that they definitely needed. But Thrall is a disappointment. He is fairly disappointing right now. Come on, Thrall, you're better than this. I mean, maybe you're not, but I hope you are. You can do it. There we go. That's another one. We're 3 short. I believe in you. Like some positive reinforcement. It's more Trixler's role, by the way. We should have had like Trixler and Khaldor announcers. Trixler is the one that comes in and is like, you can do it! Come on, Thrall! I believe in you! And then Khaldor comes in and goes straight like, let's go shitbag. Hit that thing! My grandmother could have hit that wolf. The hell are you doing? There we go. That's number 4. 2 more. Oh, there's the swap, and oh, they still want ETC. Thrall has 5. We're getting somewhere. Light bomb engaged. They're trying to make the play, and Thrall comes in with the earthquake. 1 more wolf, baby. Come on, Chromie is sitting right there, and there's the connect. My man completing the quest, not getting the kill though. They still take out Olaf, but 12 minutes and 24 seconds in, at least the quest is completed. And now with the triple altar phase coming up once again, this is the chance to get some extra points. So come in and grab them. The general damage output, and then obviously with the double pull now, 36,000 for Thrall, 38,000 for Chromie. Yep, altars up, and now it's time that we're going for maybe a bit more Viking control even. Vikings can obviously engage in the fights right now. And Eric is already going full slingshot on D.Va topside. What is a slingshot going to do against a mech, by the way? Can somebody explain this to me? How does Eric do damage with a slingshot there? Is that like some science, like some super sci-fi slingshot that somehow breaks through the outer shell of a mech? I don't really know how that works. But the only thing that I see happening there is like a little bit of a ding-dong effect, and that's about it. So yeah, arrow into the backline again from Hanzo. They're still fighting this one out hard. D.Va is attempting to channel, but there's nothing happening there, and obviously she needs to stay on the lane. If she doesn't stay at the altar, then the Vikings are going to grab it. Here comes the Shimada brothers. Death. Both of them are dead. Anduin is dead too. Thrall is dead. It's a bloodbath down here at this fight. One hero after another is falling now, and the Vikings are slowly starting to getting a say in the matter. So they can come in and maybe even turn that. Oh, nice. That was a nice swap. Can they stun out D.Va here? Well, they're certainly trying. An Ancestral D.Va, I think that's only going to delay the inevitable. The slingshot! And she gets out! Rhaegar, boss mode. Nice. Gets the heals out. A little bit of body blocking as well. But of course the altar was now again taken by the blue team. And that means that the KD Seagens are now on 24 points on the core. Against 11. So... not bad. Yeah, they nearly have them on single digits. It just feels like that triple front line is currently not working out for the KD agents. Like at all. Thrall has of course a synergy with level 16. Neat. But they also got to do something with that. And Vikings haven't really participated all that much in teamfights yet. And we have Largen in charge. So that has been taken. Meaning that he can definitely start up some Viking flanks whenever he wants to. Now, D.Va already topside, still rotating against the Vikings, trying to make sure that they're not getting too much lane control here. But with the next few orders coming up soon, it's a dicey one. That lead into the best of 5 series, who's gonna grab it? I mean, currently anything's open, but the blue team is ahead. They're ahead in kills, they're ahead in experience, and now they're looking in the level 20 talent. And of course, points on the core is where they're really ahead. Oh, here comes the upgrade, Chromie with the Sandblast upgrade with the Piercing Sands. We got the Sensor, Deadly Calm, and the Living Weapon. And as soon as they have their Storm Talents, they're just saying hello at the bottom bell tower. So it is a bell tower time. Let's go. They should be able to get this one very, very easily. So that's 5 shots potentially fired by the altar. And I mean, it's even getting better than that. There's a single altar down at the bottom of the map. There's no way the KD agents get anywhere near this thing. Not with their bell tower claims. So that's 5 shots fired. You're down to single digits. We're down to 6 points on the core. So the boss is becoming more and more of a problem, which is actually the reason why the KD agents are just saying, guys, we gotta go for it. We gotta go in at the boss, we gotta take it away as an option for the other team. And since they are pretty fast around it, it's... we didn't give too much control out of the map, but boss is at least eliminated, so that's 4 shots fired against the blue team, and you also make sure that he doesn't get used against you. Double win. Easy win-win situation for them. Damage output, by now, 45,000 for Hanzo. I mean, Hanzo and Thrall are essentially on the same level. The one hero that surpasses both of them is still Chromie. Chromie is a bit too tough there to get 55k. Yeah. And Thrall is still fighting. Still trying at the front to finally get those nice connects so that they can get a kill in. Try and get that Alpha Wolf value. But again, they're struggling right now. They have the level 20 talents, which is nice. It gives us Sparks via Blessing, for example. Bullseye is in, the Earth and Shields. A lot of sustain. I'm not sure if sustain during the fights were really their problem. Maybe for ETC, but for the rest of the team, it just feels like the damage that they need to put onto a single target is currently not quite there. So that seems more of a problem for them. But okay. Thrall kinda caught in the middle, maybe a little bit. But he gets the wolf out. Okay. Here comes Genji. Anduin. No light bomb there. And that was a nice connect from White Tiger. And therefore, no opportunity for the Seagens to take out Thrall. Single altar is up. Actually, this is really playing into the cards of the KD Seagens that there's a single altar right now. And talking about bell towers and altars, this one is going to be retaken in a moment. Okay, Thrall is already dead. Anduin gets hit by the arrow. Hanzo's going to retake the bell tower, but with Thrall already gone, this is a 5 versus 4 after all. So Hanzo gets at least that. The pumpkins make it through on the other hand, one of them at least. That puts the core down to 4. 2 made it through, so 1 altar channel is all that they need. 1 channel on the altar and it's over, and now that they got ETC, this is looking great. Vikings could end it. I have no idea what Balog is doing here. If he channeled now, the game would be over. I guess they can still do that when they move back here, but that is something that I would have done immediately. So the Vikings, they're winning another game, and the lead in this best of 5 series is taken by the KD Seagens. Nicely done, the 1-0 in our first match here in the winner bracket of the Underdog Cup. GG and well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Underdog Pass is the second map. The lead goes to the KD Seagens. And, well, with that, we'll see if they can actually extend this a little bit. We're in the best of 5, obviously. My money was on the KD Agents. With how clean they went through the group, I really thought that they had it here as well. Now, obviously, one map doesn't win you a series, but it's actually a very nice start for them. So, let's see what the red team can now do to bring this back. Or if instead we are having a clean one from... I don't know if you want to call it a sister team. I think it's just like nomenclature that they're using in the season of HeroesLounge. But either way, the team in blue has taken the lead, is so far doing well. And if they can rush through this, for example, with a 3-0 themselves, then that would be quite interesting for the upcoming matches here in the bracket phase of the tournament. I mean, we're down to the final 4 teams. Now, Falset gets banned, Samuro is out, so is Anubarak. A lot of heroes that are very annoying around the objective and can easily sneak it. But we still have Hogger available, and that's always a good side lane pick. I don't think there's a map where Hogger is actually not one of the top choices for you. And on a lot of maps, he is just spectacular. Gun of Terror comes to mind, for example. But, again, this is Underdog Pass. So, we've seen this played a few times. It's actually kind of amazing to me. We haven't had a team that was... I don't believe we did. A team that was trying to go for the core with only one armor shield removed and then got murdered there. I really thought there's a chance that this actually happens here. But everybody was extremely diligent in taking some of those keeps out and ensuring that they would not fail at the core. It's always dangerous when you have any kind of mechanic or a map where the core all of a sudden regenerates. It's one of the reasons why, of course, Abathar with Mule can be really annoying to play against if you don't ensure that you're taking the structures out. We get Maiev and Jana, so it's time for a couple of tethers here. And with Sylvanas and Blaze, I mean, you can really take some structures down with Sylvanas there. Very nice. They still, I mean, we have Muradin and a couple of others around here, but give me some nice CC chains that other heroes then can go for. So Blaze with the jet propulsion would be great. It doesn't have to be a Stormbolt. I mean, there's a lot of heroes that are still up. If you're looking for a couple of wall stuns, Diablo, for example, is another one that is still available. We're only in game number 2. The 10 heroes that you've seen on the previous map cannot be played again. But outside of that, we still have plenty available. I think 89 heroes are in the pool right now. So 10 got removed. That leaves 79. I think, yeah, fine. Even with the 6 additional bans. Dehaka is, by the way, still up. I don't think that we're going to see him with Blaze and Hogger already claimed. I think that's also one of the main reasons why he wasn't even banned here. But they targeted Falstad as another global. So, let's see. Brightwing and Diablo. There's Dibbles. Okay. Blaze, Diablo. There's my CC chain. Just like rush in with Diablo, grab him at the head, flip him over, and then Blaze barrels in with the jet propulsion, head first, stuns him out, and then Sylvanas goes pew pew. I hope they're adding somebody that can actually really capitalize on this. Daggard Kane and Tychus. Okay, against Diablo we now have Tychus, probably the bigger they are. Alright. And that comes in for our final pick. We need damage. Okay, what do you give me? It could be Greymane, could be a mage, totally fine with it, but give me something that helps you with the CC so that you get your kill. Sylvanas alone is not going to cut it here. Oh, Medivh. Okay, Medivh can also do a bit more damage, but that makes the entire team insanely safe. So is that going to be enough for them? We'll see. Could also go Leyline into Apocalypse here. Game number 2, Underdog Pass, everybody. Let's go. Second map, we get Medivh over on the left side. Neptopus with Sylvanas. Fizziv on Medivh. Yeah, he's going to really be the one to watch out for. Not only for the stacks he's going to get towards his baseline, but obviously, way more importantly than that, can the portal plays and the shields get the team to a point where they are just ruling everything here. We have Brightwing played by Joey, No Scope Ninjas on Diablo, and Time Bullet then on Blaze. As over on the right side, we got the KD Agents with Giblets on Deckard Kane. We got Simply on Jojo. Kenny with Tychus. We talked about this a bit during the draft. Quarterback as a level 1 choice. Crocodile on Hogger. And White Tiger is playing Maiev. So... I hate this mount, I hate this mount, I hate this mount. Why is anybody picking this mount? I really don't get it. Everybody should have, like even if you go for the pleb horse, it's way better than that. This mount is just like, ugh. It's just icky. It's like, bleh. No me gusta. But, okay. So, all the way, top side. Our solo lane with Sylvanas and Hogger. I think actually that Blaze should probably make his way over there at some point. Whereas Medivh is just like, fly like an eagle. He's a bird! His shadow looks actually quite funny when he does that spin thing. Looks a bit like a ninja star. I'm not quite sure if you guys paid attention there, but once he's back in his raven form and flies around, if he does do it again, have a bit of a look at the shadow on the ground and you probably catch it. Now, over on the left side, yeah, camp is about to be taken. This one has already been grabbed a bit earlier. I would have loved to honestly see a Tychus again. Not because I think it's better, just because I like it with an auto attack build. We've seen it in some of the Asian tournaments every now and then, but press the advantage at level 1 and then just really going into a full auto attack style where you're focusing on that is kind of fun. Like, it's kind of cool. Like, I personally really like it. I'm not really sure if we're gonna get that there anytime soon, but it would be pretty nice if we actually did get that. I mean, currently, still, none of that is really happening. Essentially, what we're getting instead is just grenade builds as per usual, and on level 4, obviously, we have no Master Assassin. Well, actually, no, obviously. They could have gone for bigger. They are here for sure. Master Assassin is, of course, a very typical pick, something that a lot of teams will take. But then at the same time, we've had a lot of teams that go for the bigger they are anyways when they're up against a hero like Diablo and just come try, take his hit points down quickly. So you can definitely go for that too. But there have been, as I said in the past, other builds with Tychus, and it's kind of nice when something like that happens. It's obviously not only affecting him, but also other heroes. No kills just now. 6 stacks for Medivh. Nothing too impressive here just yet. And yeah, down at the bottom of the map. Alright, careful. The first objective. Is anybody actually going to make a play for it now that he's spawned? Nah. I was lingering around a bit. Probably more so eyeing the camp that is being taken than anything else. But yeah. It should be able to go for like a full-on boost, and like every mount should have like a special mode. You should be able to light those rockets, for example. Just light them up and then go full hypersonic speed there. Yeah, a couple of nice combo attempts here, but still no kill. Oh, Jet Propulsion from Blaze. He's a bit low on mana, so they should probably start to back off here. And the stacks for Medivh are coming together, not really quickly, but he's at 15 now. Yeah, so nothing insane is happening just yet. Everybody is currently going simply through the motions and slowly doing their thing. And for Medivh, obviously, any single stack that he can get right now in the 1v1 with Johanna at the bottom of the map is fantastic. Want to try and get that done, or at least as close as possible before level 10 abilities hit. Because once that a thing, the blow-up potential on an individual target is way too huge. Starts to piss people off with the portals again. So, yeah. Medivh is already having fun. 20 stacks for him. Halfway there. But just using the portal to annoy not only Johanna, but also Deckard Kane. So, can they do a bit more now? We have on the left Sylvanas Yeah, she's currently doing her thing here as well. Sylvana's going strong on this. If they get the objective, she can do a whole lot more here. Once that she's able to, you know, just simply move in and do some actual damage to structures, disabling that, enhance those pushes, that's when the game then really starts for them. The 5-minute mark has also passed, so you could do the same thing with bosses. Right now, Diablo going down first in this game. Yeah, the KD agents with first blood. And they've done some significant structural damage in the middle of the map as well. If you compare that to what's happening over here for the red team, not too much, honestly. Yeah, now Sylvanas is dead too. So, seems like somebody got a little bit angry after the first game. The KD agents looking much better here. And going for the objective. So, this is, with a level 10 ability, a very good start into objective number 1. They have an easy opening. And thanks to them being the only team that is currently running heroic abilities, they will take that lead. Now, obviously, the blue team is getting their own now, so they can start to fight back here. Right wing could come in. Apocalypse combo against Deckard Cain. Oh, the jet propulsion interrupted. And that saved Deckard. I think that would have been a kill. If not for Johanna shutting Blaze down here, Deckard Cain would have likely fallen. And they got the objective. They actually got it. So the KD agents, they grab the objective. The kill against Deckard Cain doesn't happen. The old man is trying to tell stories, but nobody wants to listen. They all move out of range. Have their earmuffs on currently. So, yep. Off we go. How much damage can they do? It's the first one. 6 minutes and 40 seconds in. The Raiders to the rescue here. And will have some nice damages, especially in the middle of the map where Tychus has now also Odin'd up hard. So that means that we're going to see the first fort fall here. Or at least we should. We're still trying to fight around it, but that also ensures that there's a few less heroes on the remaining lanes that can protect all of those. Fort is down, the no-scope ninja. Ooh, gets this. Was nearly out of the fight already. There's the shield for Medivh, and he's still dead. Tried to get away, couldn't. So that's another kill against Diablo. And it allows them to drop some of the hit points on that fort too now. Not bad. Now, 3 kills to 0. KD agents. I mean, right now they're in control. Right now they're absolutely in control of all of this. So, yeah, nicely done. And ooh, the quest completed for Medivh. Nice. Very, very nice. That was actually pretty sweet. So, the Medivh quest completed without him even struggling with it. Was never even close to dying. Damage output should also reflect that a bit. Usually, yeah, he's on 16,000. So, normally, when you have Medivh with this, and at least at the beginning of the game, he is dishing out a decent amount of damage. He's even ahead of Sylvanas here. Not the highest damage deal in the game currently. That's still Maiev. But he's bringing the pain. Tychus is also up there, of course. One structure taken out in the middle. That's all that we've seen so far. Okay. Maybe now. Can they make another play here for... the portals. Medivh as usual cheating. And saving Blaze here. Medivh is the most annoying character in this game. To be fair, he's in good company. There's a couple of very annoying ones. Playing against a good Merc is also insanely annoying. Murky is annoying. Medivh is annoying. I don't know who else is on that list. Why all that high up? Samuro probably, if you have a good one. But yeah, there's a couple of very, very annoying ones for sure. Yeah, that APOC didn't work as well for them as they were hoping. Obviously, Diablo was looking at a proper engage, and that just didn't pan out. Shield on Brightwing, but the stun from Ogre. Sylvanas gone. Blaze at the bottom of the map, still defending here, but now that they're focusing on Diablo again, this might be the next time that he dies. He still makes it, but he also has to be careful. If the cooldown for the grenade from Tychus is back, he's gonna eat one. So they want another fort here. But they can't get the top side fort. They have taken out the fort at the bottom of the map with Maiev. That one's gone. So, yeah, that one is already eliminated. And right now, still with elite experience, the red team just ahead here. Ahead by nearly a level. Next objective is of course up, but nobody's really been to play for this yet. Nobody's taking bosses either. We're 10 minutes into the game and there wasn't really an opportunity. We had a couple of kills sprinkled in here and now, but nothing where a team won a big team fight or anything and then said, alright, we got this now. So, yeah. Seems like now they're trying. I mean, right now, the blue team is way more aggressive around this. Would be pretty neat if they would get one as well, of course. If they can lock one in here, then that would be pretty fantastic for them to try and catch up. The problem is that now that they are behind by talent, yeah, it's a little bit doubtful. And the KD agents are instantly starting to push for the objective again, and why wouldn't they? They're not only level ahead, they're talent ahead. With 16, they get the Titan Grenade here and the synergy that comes with it. They got Kane with the Hodratric Staff, is now getting his mini stuns out. And, well, they have already the progress ticking towards their next set of Raiders. Now, after game number 1, it looked like the KD Seagens might actually have a chance to pull ahead in the series. And I guess they did with one map, but to have even more of an impact. Currently, they're being shut down. The red team had a clear run through the group stage and is now attempting to do the same here, but they are getting shut down a little bit. Hogger is dead. The counter kill against Blaze that followed immediately allows them still to go for the objective, and it seems like they're gonna grab this one. Yep, that is objective number 2 for the KD agents. So they traded kills, they traded side laners, and they still got the objective. Good for them. 5 kills to 1. And they're still not done with this. Diablo might have gone a little bit too far. It's attacked here, but is still able to walk away. And obviously still fully sold up. And here comes the next set of Raiders. And these ones, they're actually hurting a bit more. As I said before, if it turns the other way, if at some point the Raiders are being claimed by the blue team, then it can always rely on Sylvanas to make these pushes a bit more dangerous. They could do the same with the boss, but they have to react simply to what the KD agents are doing the entire time, and so far it hasn't really been working out. Top lane is now getting attacked. That means another wall is very likely going to get destroyed within a couple of seconds there. They could get even more. Some damage on the keep would of course go a long way. Blaze is still down at the bottom of the map and trying to defend there. But they're also not willing, as it seems, to be too aggressive. There's the ley line. Yeah, they catch 2. APOC. And the answer is no. So yeah, no APOC to follow up on this. Diablo didn't want to have any of it. Nice stuns that he gets out. The problem for them is it's only against Jojo, and she just simply uses the Iron Skin and walks away from it. Shortly after that, he gets disc 2. So, yeah. Just a little bit of cohesion that is missing in these plays to turn that around. The Viking performance that we had in game 1 from the KD Seagens, that was great. The Foreman was strong, but now they are not aware that this is happening. Maybe they are. It's a bit too late. Medivh is now flying towards the top. He will see it. I'm just not sure if the blue team can actually react it, and I don't think so. No, it's just too late. He's not dropping down for a ley line there either. First of all, the ability was still on cooldown, and second of all, that would have been quite the gamble too, and usually your opponents don't make a mistake like that. At least not here. But here comes again Deckard Cain. Stay a while and get wrecked. Yeah, they want to tee that up for another kill. Bunker's already out. The discs are heading left and right. Ley line, and it might not be enough. Whoa! No! Brightwing actually got stopped. I'm not sure if she would have survived if she didn't get body blocked there. But, still a good kill. Brightwing's gone. And that is the KD agents with the boss at the top lane being more and more aggressive around all of this. And they are going to take this one on 100%. Now, the next question then will be, can they get more? They still have a numbers advantage. But they're not even trying. They're way ahead in experience right now. Yeah, now they're losing Deck Arcane. Diablo came in, full on swinging. If they can get Tigers, then yes, that's the portal right there. And then Jojo with another kill. She already killed Deck Arcane. Now she moves in and takes out Sylvanas. Johanna, the hero they didn't know they needed, right there. Top side, yeah, Koa's taking some damage against only the first armor shield that gets removed, so not that big of a problem. Still very resilient and will also regenerate. Here come the level 20 abilities, though, for the agent. And that, gives us the big red button. I mentioned this in the past, but some people might still not know this. Did you know that this actually says Commandeer Odin and not Commander Odin? Because you're commandeering Odin. You have no idea how many years I was not aware of that, because my brain went immediately whenever I saw it, Commander Odin. And that made sense. That made absolute sense to me. And then at some point it was like, I think I got called out, you're pronouncing it the wrong way. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I looked at what's actually written, and I was like, oh my god. That's not saying what I thought it says. So, yeah. I think at some point during HGC that came up. So yeah, pretty late. A couple years in. Anyways, half a level to 20. And right now we are talking objective 3. If they take this, they've taken 3 in a row. Diablo with the attack, with the APOC, there's the ley line, and Bunker, let's go! Can they get the kill? They can! Bye-bye Jojo. This time the objective grab was finally stopped. Blue team still not quite out of this, and Blaze dies with his bunker. That's totally fine. He was always a dirty little prepper anyways. He's one of the reasons why toilet paper ran out during Corona. He bunkered it all. All that shit, all the stuff that you're seeing like in Heroes that's been missing, it's essentially just in the bunker. If you wait for good arrows from Hanzo, Blaze just caught them and put them in his bunker, and now he just died with all of the stuff in there. That's just what happens. Blaze has always been a prepper. He will always be a prepper. There's so much stuff in there. So if you hear about the survival pack on and the ad for that on the next podcast, Blaze has them all. He has the platinum membership right there. Now, after they got those, blue team has a chance to get the objective for themselves now. So maybe Sylvanas gets a chance after all to help an objective or something to push these lanes out slightly. We have level 20 talents on each side. Now it's a fair fight. Sylvanas is on 43,000 damage, Medivh is on 41,000. And then you have Tigers on the other side who's sitting at 64k like it's nothing. Get those grenades in, my friend. Get Odin out. And do your thing. So, this gets Brightwing. They want to go for the Fruit Fly. And there's the immediate portal with the tether, even they can't do anything. 13 seconds to 15. Diablo jumps in. Stay a while. And get wrecked. But, oh, there's... Yeah, Leyline or Apoc actually got them a kill. Oh, God! He got out! No way. I thought he would die. Instead, they go for Deck Arcane. That's a nice target as well. And here comes Sylvanas. She wants Hogger after all, and they get it. The KD Seagens! Guys, they're turning the game! The KD Agents came into game number 2, and they actually were wreaking havoc here. And now with a triple kill, the blue team puts themselves in the driver's seat, is trying for another one. They're going for Tigers. Oh my god! They killed Cunny! Now they did. And that should be an objective. Then again, over here, another keep is about to go down, so it's not like nothing happened during this huge fight. And with this keep gone, I think somebody should help. There's only one... Team? Team? I'm not sure Blaze is enough. Okay, there's Sylvanas. Thank God for that. They were cutting that a little bit close, in my opinion. But yeah, losing that second keep is a problem. Despite all of the kills that we just now saw against the KD Agents, let's not forget that currently we have not a single fort that has been destroyed on the red team side. So this one, they have to make this one count. They have to make this one count. This one should honestly fall before anything else happens, but the red team will be back in force to defend. But this is a 20-minute thingy. What are they called in blue? Not raiders. The cavalry! The cavalry! Yeah. So, the cavalry, they need to hit a bit. I mean, at a minimum, you have to take the forward side. Should do more. Right wing. It's this, and that looks very much like a dead fruit fly to me. Stun, and bam. Right wing got murdered. Get an APOC. They're trying to get the kill. Ah, Tigers. Nice. If he moved somewhere else, he would have fallen there. Oh my god. Blaze really wants him. You went a bit deep. Oh, Diablo comes in and takes him down. Get wrecked. Blaze bunkers up. And now it's a 4 versus 4. That actually was pretty sweet. Holy shit, they had a hard on for that guy. I mean, they really wanted Tychus. They're like, boys, we gotta do something here. They went for Tychus. They absolutely crushed him. And they got the kill. So, yep. Great for them. So, now we got the potential push for the boss. They don't. Oh, now you're playing with fire. They're trying to go for the fight at the top. They need to be fast here. They realize what's happening, but with Tychus gone, the attack is slow. They have Medivh. They can chase them. Oh, where are the portals when you need them? The stun. Maiev tries to get away. Might get away. Portals. And there's the ley line. Tychus is back, but I think it's too late. They're going to lose another one, aren't they? They need to lose. I mean, Maiev needs to die here. She needs to die, and she did die. Maiev is dead. They forgot about Jojo, but that's fine. Blue team, in their quest to make the massive comeback happen here, is now going for the boss at the top. They were already at the bottom of the map. They were already all the way down at the bottom. They were like, guys, we can't trade. And good choice, too. Because if they let the boss happen, then they have to defend their own core with 2 armor shields removed against boss plus team. That's not easy. And talking about it, now that Medivh is at the bottom of the map, here comes the red team. APOC! Diablo is dead! And they're gonna lose this one! Medivh going to the bot lane was a huge mistake. They did everything right at first, and now they're losing the boss regardless. Holy crap! And now Medivh gets even stunned out here. They absolutely blew this one. They thought, guys, we have a 5 versus 4, easy, let's go boss, I go bot lane. And then the red team just said, hey, if he's bot lane, we can see him. We're just gonna go to the top and we're gonna fight for the boss and try and steal it. I mean, honestly, great call from the agents. And that's game. It's over. Boss wasn't even needed. It's a 1-1 as we are going to game number 3 of the best of 5. GG. So, that backfired a little bit. The KD agents won the game. And the KD Siegens were a bit too confident. First of all, the core getting attacked this brutally by the waves after you lose 2 of your armor shields there is obviously a problem. But then also the big issue that they ran into is that they just had 4 heroes at the top. And the KD agents were rolling the dice a bit. They had information from vision at the bot lane. They realized that they could go into a 4v4 fight around the boss, that likely the blue team would be low in HP and or mana, and they went for it. So good call by them, straight for the win. So now that we're going into game number 3, it essentially kind of means that we have reduced the series to a best of 3. The cool thing about this is though that the 20 heroes that were played cannot be played again. So this is where it slowly starts to have a bit of a probably more at game 4, but it already counts. So, Battlefield of Eternity is the map. Bala hasn't been played yet. Sergeant Hammer is still available. A lot of mages are still there. So I think damage on the Immortal is not the problem. And I wouldn't put it past one of the teams to also take Artanas. The Trash Master himself. But they're already starting to get a bit more hesitant. It's like the draft takes a little bit longer. I'm not quite sure if they're operating with Excels actually to check which heroes were done. I think the last time when we were in a group stage, a couple of the teams talked about it during the lobby, and they said like they're taking screenshots, and I was like, taking screenshots? That sounds still a little bit tricky. Like normally for Meta Madness, what we've been using most of the time is just like some Excel lists where you then can just tick off what has been played, and you have a very good and very quick overview of which heroes can still be played and which heroes are out. But yeah, if you just operate on screenshots in the best of 5 series, that is getting tricky, I would assume. So, Sergeant Emma is already out. What about our first picks? Neptibus is the first one to choose for the team. I mean, honestly, at this point, I would probably log Vala in. She's a great damage dealer for the map. Depending on what you want to do here, Vala seems like a good choice. Normally, you wouldn't necessarily go and immediately pick her, but still, in this particular context, I think it makes sense. 20 heroes are banned out. A lot of them were also decent against the Immortal. You want something that packs a punch here, they go for her. It makes sense. If you're more worried about your front line and you have a special strategy in mind, then hey, go for it. But if we're talking just what is available as good Immortal damage, just go for the best that's still there. You can then decide whether you want to move in, take a double support, play with an auto attack style, go arrow build. I mean, you have options. Li Ming, obviously, another great choice. Always good in Battlefield of Eternity. The main advantage that she brings is that you can just simply fire your combo out when you're in range, and your opponent either eats the damage on the Immortal, or they have to throw somebody in the way of the combo, eat the damage there, which puts pressure onto the healer, and he might run out of mana eventually. So, yeah. Arthurs! Okay. Arthurs and Oriel. Yeah, Oriel is also very, very popular in the tournament. But now we have Arthurs together. That makes things interesting. I mean, Blizzard with their mini patches, they actually really have tried to also give Arthurs a little bit of love. And I personally have a bit of a soft spot for him. Not only because of course, Warcraft 3 times, but also since in the early stages of Heroes of the Storm, he was like the tank for a long, long time. Like the Arthur's Carrigan combo with double Envenom was just standard. And if you got both of them during a draft, a lot of teams were like, oh, it's over. It's game. You know, the old days when everything was totally figured out. Yeah. I mean, hero pool was much, much smaller back then. And obviously a lot of abilities had to be tinkered with. The prime example that I usually go through here, and it's always putting a smile on my face when I remember it, is the Russian-Ukrainian teams around Sevka that went for 5 Blood for Bloods on the same team and just nuked heroes dead instantly. The first tournament that they did it, they just got a free win because word didn't travel fast enough. So they just did it and they just nuked heroes, won the game like this. Teams didn't tell the next team, and so they could do it for an entire tournament and won the tournament. It was absolutely hilarious. And then afterwards, I think it was around for a few more months, months, I don't really know. And then Blizzard started to nerf Blood for Blood, take it away from heroes, and I think now nobody has it anymore. But those are the tricks that you can oftentimes get away with when the game is new. We got Uther, we got a Nubarak. So quite a few stuns to tee up Li Ming. And there's Leo. Leoki plus Junkrat. Which means Vala is likely going to go for an arrow build. Makes perfect sense. It's Battlefield of Eternity after all. Get those arrows out, get the damage in against the opponent's Immortal and burn that thing down after you hit Monster Hunter on level 7. But a bit more damage would probably be nice for the KD agent with White Tiger here. So, what's it gonna be? We got Orphea, double mage. Very cooldown heavy, but if you get the stuns in, then you can murder a target. Well, there is the Aegis from Oriel. Either way, Battlefield of Eternity, game number 3. Game number 3, one of the teams has a chance to pull ahead now. Let's see who's going for victory here. So, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to take the lead in the best of 5 here in the winner bracket of the Underdog Cup. Neptibus on Junkrat, we got the no-scope Ninja on Arthas, Joey on Oriel, Time Bullet is playing Leoric, and we got Fizif on Vala. To the right side of the map, the KD Agents with Simply on Nuburak, we got White Tiger on Ophia, Kratodel on Dehaka, Meg Giblets on Uther, and Kani on Li Ning. So, let the games begin over here. I have my eye on Arthas a little bit, and him going straight into Frost Presence as his level 1. So he's going to try and stack that up as well here, and we'll see how much he can do with this. Give me those stacks and then just lock them down and tee it up for heroes like Junkrat and obviously the rest. But currently we have at the top also a bit of action going on because they started initially with 3 man at the top lane. This is actually one of the things that I noticed when we're talking about the Underdog Cup in general and the teams that are participating here. They really split differently, specifically at the beginning when we're talking about Battlefield of Eternity. Normally you will see those 4-1 splits in top level play most of the time, but what we're getting here in essentially all the games that we've had so far in Battlefield is some 2-3 split that continues throughout the mid game. So this is actually quite common that that happens. And I'm not sure. We'll see if that continues, if they are at some point splitting 4-1 and just open the game up like this, because they weren't sure where a Nuburak would potentially push by spawning a couple of beetles and soaking the shots up. So there's a couple of different things that they could theoretically try and do here. But as is right now, we are still looking at, yeah, just some early game back and forth, and it seems like they're settling really into this 3-2 split on both lanes right now. In the meantime, despite the fact that we are not looking... Oh, careful! Vala! Yeah! Oh my god! Fizif is playing with fire over here. I was just about to say that they decided to go into an auto attack style despite the fact that they only have a single healer here. So... ballsy choice. I totally expected to see... I mean, honestly, I really thought they would just simply say, okay, whatever, we're gonna go for an arrow build here, just play for the objective. But apparently the idea and the game plan is to make sure that they're getting as many heroes killed on the other side as possible and just work through team fights. Which is obviously totally fine too, but it puts you now into a spot where, when it comes to the objective, you are more focused on trying to force the opponent down, get a few kills in, and then turn towards the objective, than parking Vala with arrows and vaults on the Immortal and attempting to get it that way. Camp at the bottom gets already escorted in a bit further. Red team has now taken their own. So there's another quick hit happening. Okay. Yeah, and then obviously still the question if they can maybe do something with the camp that they just escorted or tried to escort in here. But definitely not enough just yet. So we have Leo taking care of the top. Has to do the same thing here. But the red team is already done with camp defense, so they can go straight for the push. Oh, then again we're looking at a Nuburak who gets whipped around a little bit. He's currently the whipping boy of Oriel. Straight into an Immortal stun, and that one hurt. And now he gets hit again! Damn, if Arthas had a Howling Blast ready in that moment, Simply would have been in some serious trouble. He is able to make it out, so good for him. But that's already a halftime show right there. So the red team is pulling ahead. They are starting to take a lead. Then again, now with the kill against Ophia, that might change things. Vala comes in, gets some shots connected. She has 24 stacks on level 1 currently. But that one was a good one. That helped. So, currently she's the one over on the left side, still trying to get the attacks running. I'm not sure how much I like that. On the one hand, obviously she does work. On the other, you kind of want to get her more stacks too. If she's just going to be the one that attacks the Immortal anyway, then you went for the wrong build. Then you should have gone for an arrow build. But as it stands right now, they might win this one. Probably not, but they're getting much closer. Leo is gone, and the red team finishes what they started. They have a much, much smaller shield than they initially were probably hoping for. But, on the other hand, they still win the Immortal. So that means that they can now start doing some damage. The Haka is now already going up towards the top lane. Immortal is of course going to travel down to the bottom of the map. And therefore the rest of the team is getting in position there, trying to win the show for them. The shield is already gone, so we're already talking melee mode here. What you're trying to do right now is just simply get the wall, a little bit of damage on the fort, and that should make them more or less happy. It's an early Immortal, it doesn't really have that many hit points, and once the shield is gone, it also gets straight into the range of the opponent. It can burn it down very easily, and that's exactly what they're doing here. Coffee Girl? It's a trap! And not successful enough. I think if Li Ming somehow squeezed into that push too, they might have... Well, first of all, Uther might have been part of a pretty nice threesome right there. But also, maybe a little bit creepy, considering the skin that Ophia currently wears here. But she's an old soul. But they might have also gotten a kill. If it wasn't only Ophia dishing damage out after Uther stuns this, but also Li Ming with another combo, then there's definitely a chance that they're just blowing the target up right away and get their 4 versus 5. Currently, it's a stun. It's a kill for a kill. Calamity also for Li Ming. That would have made things even easier getting those hits. Model coil build on Arthur's, and as the red team pushes at the bottom of the map, we now have all the way up at the top our two players for the red team doing their little dance, going for another objective there. So they still are attacking there too. Alright. By now it's actually that 1 versus 1 that we've been talking about a little bit earlier. So they've been starting to slowly turn that into a 1v1. But the next objective is now being announced. This, on the other hand, is nice for Vala. She gets the kill, she gets the stacks, the quest reward hasn't died yet. Beautiful, beautiful whip into the wall. And Nubarak, if not for the cooldown, could have died here too. And Vala was obviously already just looking at this, thinking that she would be able to get a couple of additional hits together. And could with that just stack up her level 1. Didn't quite work out that way for her, but still she has the first quest reward. They have the early level 10. It's a tiny lead, but they're moving towards the Immortal just that little bit faster to attempt and get themselves, you know, some easy hits in. So we'll see how far they can go. Here leaking down an Uberak would be nice, but Uther has a say in this too. Drops the Divine Shield now they have level 10 abilities and shuts that down. Stacks over here. Entomb against the Haga is not bad. The problem is that the memo has apparently not reached the rest of the team because nobody was helping out there. And now in comes the double mage lineup to drop a kill and get Oriel removed from this fight. So that helps, of course, a lot. Vala gets killed too. Without Aegis, without heals, there's just no way of saving her. Arthur's might also get eliminated, and yep, that's another kill. The resets that Li Ming is getting currently are helping a ton too, and for them it's beautiful. Not only does it essentially give them another Immortal, we're not quite there yet, but it's highly likely that they're going to be the ones to grab this one. But on top of that, of course, they get the extra kills, the extra experience, and they start to take even more map control. So things are looking pretty decent for the KD agents again. And removing the attack speed from Vala, that's an added bonus that they shouldn't frown upon. It's 5% of the attack speed gone. Immortal this time traveling top. Damage output for Vala is, by the way, at 13,000. We have now 16,000 for Junkrat. He's the top damage dealer currently in the game. Sorry, on the team. In the game, it is Ophia and Li Ming. Like, the two of them have done well. The problem with that double mage lineup that you're running is that you're extremely cooldown heavy. So you are very heavily reliant on getting your cooldowns in sync with the rest of your team. And if you do that properly, you can unleash an enormous amount of damage and might be able to get some easy quick kills in. The problem is if that sync doesn't happen, then everybody is just playing around their cooldowns and it's getting tough. But it's one of the reasons why these stuns that we're seeing from the KD agents are actually also important, because it's not only Ophia and Li Ming that need to sync things up properly, it's also Uther, Dehaka, and then a Nubarak that need to do the same. And then obviously you still have to play around Aegis. So it's really not easy. But if they are able to, as they did previously, take down Oriel, then all of a sudden they find themselves in a spot where you just can grab these kills. And killing Vala a couple of times would of course be the goal here, because once that you have that successfully pulled off, her threat level is reduced pretty significantly later on in the game when she gets run before and doesn't have the attack speed any longer. Now, at the top, the Immortal, I mean, this time we should talk Fort. This Fort should go down. Only one that hasn't died, by the way, for the blue team is Junkrat. Junkrat's the only one that hasn't been eliminated over there. So the man, he's a survivor. Clearly. But that fort, it does not survive. The fort is already gone. There's no talent advantage, but they're getting a bit closer to level 13 with this. Haka is getting also some reinforcements. That might drop Leo. Oh, yes, that is gonna drop Leo. I don't think he saw that one coming. Nope. They thought that they would push more through the top, and they were sadly mistaken. So that seals the fate of Leoric once again. But they couldn't take that second fort out. It's still a 5 versus 4 down here. And that makes them confident enough that they say, hey, we want to go for the camp. And for good reason. They are able to lock it in. So, well done. They get the camp. And with that, they now have themselves in a spot where they could either push with it, but it's a 5 versus 5 again. Obviously, we already have Leoric back to business. I mean, him respawning, not having any travel time from the Nexus is obviously a massive advantage, generally speaking. And then on top of that, just had the fort and fountain right there anyway, so they were already gearing up to defend if need be. 13 talents, also kicking in. So level 13 is ready for the KD agents. The KD Seagents are still having some problems with Leo. Leo is dead, got murdered by Orphea. One of the things, by the way, that I absolutely love whenever something like this happens is that you just simply, you know, as Leoric, you come in and you swip her anyways. So you're trying to get that sweep in. And it always looks so funny, like you're like angry and you're just like, nah, in your face, bam. And you hit him with the mob. But talking about hitting them, Li Ming is starting to completely get out of control here. The reset level is crazy. That's another kill on Vala. And now also Arthas. Woof. Damn. KD Agents. Game 1 they lose. Game 2 they were on the brink of potentially getting rolled in the late game, but turned it around barely. And now in game number 3, they're looking better than ever. They're looking real powerful here. So very nice play by them so far. And taking Vala now down for a second time obviously plays a huge role. Specifically the front line is going to be very happy about that at level 16. But as it stands, 2 forts have already been taken down on the blue team side, so they lost those. Vala is at 15,000 damage, which is honestly nothing to write home about here. Parents are not going to be proud. And it comes back to that question, would have been the better choice to go for an arrow build here. Different targets then, of course, with the team, but it might have been the better choice for them. Hindsight always being 20/20, of course, at the same time. But so far, Vala and her auto-attack build haven't really had an impact. And she now died 2 times already. That's 10% of the attack speed bonus gone. Now, as the next objective is up, the blue team has already lost 50% of its HP. So, halftime show is nearly taken by their opponents. Yeah, but can they get a little... They also have the Haka still that they're utilizing at the top. Starts to burrow into the fight here that's now going to happen. Arthas, very early Aegis here, but lots of damage negated from it. And he's still not completely out. Makes it... Oh my... Yeah, careful my friend. Okay, so it's back up to 50 HP. 50% of its HP. But that looked tricky for a second. And they still want him. Arthas is getting slapped by the Shadowstalk from Orphea. And now they're also going for the objective at the same time. And just like that, they win another one. Oh, that Divine Shield! Neat! And the double kill! The kill against Orphea does not happen. The Divine Shield comes out. And then we have Junkrat and Leo both killed. Now they're trying the rest of the team. And holy cow. That is the end of Oriel. Arthas is also going to die. That's 4 heroes that just got murdered. and only Vala survives. The Immortal moves to the bottom of the map. The rest of the team has accumulated all their forces topside, so they are going for 2 keeps at the same time, and I suppose that this is going to likely push towards the core, as they're going to try and end game number 3 and take the lead in the best of 5 series. Yeah, this keep is already gone down to the bottom of the map. Vala is currently poking this out, but the wall has been destroyed. They could have moved straight to the middle tower or not, I think. But yeah, too many towers, I suppose. And here we are. That keep is also not going to make it. Junkrat tries to take the minion waves out and a bit of damage to the Immortal, so that worked, but didn't really work well enough. And that is the second keep that is just gone. And that Immortal still marching towards the core. But the red team apparently think they've had enough here. They have a 3-level advantage. They don't want to throw this away. The talent lead is obviously a small perk. But then being 3 levels ahead is just crazy for them. And they're using it as best as they can now, going for some of the camps here. Starting to take those. And yeah, I mean, in addition to that, obviously, the bigger question is now also what's going to happen around level 16, because that's going to be the next important tier for the blue team. And once they have the level 16 talent, then you could technically try and get your fight going. So you want to force this the second that you have the same talent tier as your opponent, because once the 20 is in play, yeah, good luck. So, yeah. 13 kills to 2. Vala has died how many times now? I believe it was... No, actually, I thought it was 3 already. So 10% of the attack speed bonus is gone. She has Manticore now. Still hurts. She doesn't have the second quest reward yet, though. Still waiting for that. 6 more hits to make that happen. Now, already we got a new Burak. Wait, I mean, they're all waiting for the objective currently, but look how aggressive the blue team is now getting. They know, hey, this is our moment. We have 16 versus 16 talent. We need to force a few fights here. So they're trying to invade the camp. And red team can now always decide, do we want to fight this? Do we just let it go? How do we play around that? And at least for now, they decided that that is not important enough for them. But they attack in the back. They wrap around this. And by the way, the camp has not been taken yet on either side. So now that Leo is gone, he'll be back soon. But that's another big lead into this fight for the KD agents. And of course, there's extra experience that the red team now gets with it. Which means that they're getting closer and closer and closer to level 20. They're only going for defense here because attacking just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Some combos out. A nice tong from the Haka. Beautiful. And that's a kill. Orphea is chomping happily away and dodges. Wow. That divine shield from Uther just as the grenade was ticking towards her was clutch. That could have been a kill against Orphea. So now they're moving in for another one on Vala. That's the 3rd time she dies. Level 20 talents are obviously ready. There's a camp through the top. I don't even know why they're going for the objective here. I guess you can if you really don't have any confidence whatsoever. Then go for the Immortal and win it with that. But you're playing a 5 versus 3. You have triple catapult and a camp at the top. They could have easily pushed with that instead. They didn't. They just escort the bot lane in a little bit. Keep those guys busy, but yeah, they want the win. They want to make sure that they're winning this 100%. That there's absolutely no opportunity for the opponent to get back into it. And this is obviously at 17.5 minutes in a pretty big Immortal. I mean, that shield is nice. Like 85%. So, yeah. Topside push. And I'd be shocked if they don't win here. Would be a nice story, though. If the blue team is somehow able to defend this, whew, that would be a little bit sexy. But they are trying to stop this early. Vala gets hit hard. Gets licked. Aegis even getting used. And she somehow makes it out. The same cannot... Oh, actually, the same can be said from Junkrat. Oriel, though, is dead. Oriel is dead. They're distracting them quite nicely here. But, oh, even the dodge on this. But the problem is still that the core is losing hit points way too quickly. And the Immortal isn't even in melee mode yet. Hasn't even lost its shield yet. This is just game. They are trying to put up a last stand here. It's just not working. It's 18 kills to do now. And that's the lead for the KD Agents in our first best of 5 of the day. So they take Battlefield of Eternity. And we're moving on to game number 4. Game number 4, Infernal Shrines. So, KD Agents in the lead. They got the 2-1. And, well, now 30 heroes are unavailable. This is, I believe, where it starts to get interesting on this level of play. If you have a very, very small hero pool, that is going to be exposed quickly now. Because teams have to make some different choices. It's actually quite funny though, because every single time when somebody asks me for something like, hey, what do you recommend to get better at heroes? For most people that are in like a lower level or like mid-level, the typical answer is just focus on one or two heroes and don't try to play like 15 or 10. Just focus on a couple of heroes, 1 or 2 in one role, and then in your main role, and then maybe 1 if you in a different role if you don't get your pick, something like this. But what most people that are playing on a lower level do wrong, in my opinion, is that they are just trying to be good at too many heroes, and that never really works out. So if you, it's always better if you're just like good with a few heroes, and then once that you're at a really good level with those, then you start branching out. But most people that are playing on a lower level also don't have as much time to put into the game, so they need to make the best out of their time, and this is one of the things of how you could do that. That's exactly the wrong thing though if you want to play in this one. And yeah, so with that in mind, if you have a very small hero pool, that get exposed in that format. I mean, this isn't quite Meta Madness style where we even have pre-bans, but it still means that as we're going into game number 4, 30 heroes have been eliminated. So, yep. With that, we now have May and we have Stitches banned. We also have over on the other side, obviously, Mephisto and Samuro taken out. So they're targeting already some tanks. I think Muradin's still up. There's still a lot of tanks available. You have Varian, you have Muradin, so we're not running out of tanks anytime soon. I suppose that that is not really the role that is in danger, but it still puts them to a point where they're saying, like, we are prioritizing a tank highly enough to get it as a first pick now. So, yeah. What else is available? I mean, you have Varian, ETC was already played. There's still a few in there, but and they're not picking a tank. Well, they're picking a tank. Yeah, so they picked Sergeant Hammer. So they picked a tank technically. The good old like, so funny. But that means that the blue team can ban another tank. So they could come in and they could just simply say like, okay, we're gonna ban out Varian now as well, and we're really forcing you to get the drags here. Because honestly, Stukov Varian would be really nice. You already have Stukov there. If I would ban anything, I would definitely ban Varian now. We get Gurel, we get Tassadar. I honestly, like, thinking about it, I don't know what else is currently available. Which is obviously a little bit silly because we're only in game number 4. So I can't come up with anything like right on the top of my head. Is a bit... Garrosh has been played, I believe. Diablo has been played. ETC has been played. Tyrael? I don't think I would have banned Tyrael. I would have banned Stukov. I see... sorry, I would have banned Varian. I see that Stukov over there, and I think Killer Comp immediately. So if you go Varian, Stukov, and then have anything else to get damage in, not just Sergeant Hammer, that would worry me a bit. But, okay. They got Imperius and Sonya. Imperius main tank. Haven't seen that in a hot minute. Okay. So they don't want to go for Varian. They go for Imperius instead. I kind of liked it when Imperius was a main tank. When people played Imperius as a main tank, I thought it was kind of cool. And now you sometimes still in a draft format like this one, you get it. But yeah, it would have been pretty nice if that lasted a bit longer. It kind of felt nice, because you could do the same. I mean, I love it when you have a flexible draft where you pick a hero at the beginning and you can just deviate depending on what's going on. White main plus Cassia, so we have Tassadar Cassia for the damage output on the KDC gens. I mean, for them it's match point, right? So if the blue team loses here, they're dropping down into the losers bracket, into the lower bracket. White Tiger for a bit more damage. Technically, they could go triple frontline with this. Could add more. You have Imperious Sonya. In comes Twin Blades variant. Hopefully not. And we get Mal'Ganis. Okay, so there's your real tank. They're not main tanking Imperious, they're just going for the double frontline with him. Infernal Shrines, everybody. So, KD Agents versus KDC Gens. Match point for the red team. Over on the left side, in game number 4, the KDC Gens with Joey and White Main, the no-scope Ninja on Cassia, Fizzif on Tassadar, we got Neptibus on Urel, and Time Bullet on Muradin. I gotta say, every single time I see a player that calls himself Ninja, I have to think about like a Ninja, and that guy is such a moron that, oh god, like I hate that guy. So unbelievably. I love when he plays with actual good players and gets shown how bad he is at games. It's kind of funny. Simply Decay for the red team, for the KD Agents. With Mal'Ganis, we get White Tiger on Imperious, Cradadel on Sonya, Cunny on Sergeant Hammer, and then last but not least, we have Make It Blitz on Stugo. So, that triple front line for Infernal Shrines. Want to dominate the shrines as much as you can. We get some stacking also for Cassia. So Cassia is gonna stack it up with Lightning, Lightning Fury Thunderstrokes. There we go. And, well, obviously on the other side we have Sergeant Hammer, who's waiting for that level 16, yeah, that would be bad news. For that level 7 talent! Can you imagine movement for Sergeant Hammer coming in on level 16? That would make the entire hero so unbelievably useless. The funny thing is though, then you could take graduating range and movement. So who knows, maybe worth it. I think people would probably prefer to have a graduating range as a level 16 talent, and then they could decide whether or not they want to take that instead of some extra damage. But yeah, that would be kind of funny. Just like shuffle the talents around a bit. That's one of the funny things that Dota 2 obviously had as a mode back in the day. I mean, I guess it still does, where you can, I don't even know what the mode was called anymore, honestly, but where heroes could end up with talents from different heroes, and it was just absolutely insane, or like abilities. Oh, Muradin. The poor dwarf, budget Gimli, is being taken out like that. Bam, gets murdered. Mal'Ganis came in, and that was the end of that. So, Sergeant Hammer is already setting up at the bottom of the map. Doesn't give a damn about anything that the blue team throws against him. It's just sitting there as like, yep, don't care. Attack me if you want. I have a pocket healer right here. I'm gonna take that wall down. That's exactly what he does. The only good news for the blue team is that it allows Cassia to come in and get very easy stacks. So she's already sitting at 22 at the 2-minute mark, which is pretty damn good for Cassia. If she can keep that up, then hey, great. So hit after hit after hit is coming in, and No Scope Ninja, if this continues, has a chance to get some insane damage out in the late game. Yeah, Sergeant Hammer is a very thankful recipient of all of this. They actually invade this. Sonya isn't here yet. Oh, Tassadar! Nice wall! Great! Yeah, he came in and he made Mal'Ganis pay for it. So, that was an amazing wall. Nicely done. Yeah, good stuff. Tassadar, wall builder number 1. Donald approved. So is May, by the way. But she has an ult, so yeah, it's a little bit on the tough side. And of course that leads us straight into the first objective, and for the blue team, that's fantastic news. Can immediately come in, do their thing, and start to take the lead on the minions. There's no level 7 or anything just yet, so yeah, nobody has a massive lead when it comes to level 7 talents potentially making the difference here. But skirmishes are still great for Cassia, and she is continuing her thing. But Muradin gets murdered again! Muradin! What's going on here? A little dwarf that could... what's happening? Could retreat a little bit earlier, but didn't. And now it's Sergeant Hammer time. Taking full control of this. Cassia is now sitting at 35 stacks, which is actually kind of funny, because normally 40 stacks is something that around 8 minutes in you are happy with. She basically gets that at minute 4. Can she keep it up? We'll see. Yeah, I know. That's what she said. So, in the middle, that's where we're getting our first Punisher. And right now, the KD agents, they want to end the series. They're like, we're done with this. Muradin, Time Bullet has moved into the main tank role, and he is getting slapped around a bit. That wall is also gone pretty quickly as Virel is now coming in. The Space Goat! Yeah, all blue and stuff. And up at the top, yeah, Sonya's still slamming away. I mean, Hava Siege mode is now ready. They didn't get that much out of the objective. Funnily enough, it's actually the blue team that's ahead in experience still throughout all of this. And yeah, here we are once again with White Tiger going for the next camp. They are just, I mean, going from camp to camp to camp to camp, trying to take them now. They had a bit of a lead. Initially it was the blue team that did a bit better there. How much damage does Cassia have already? She's at 11,000. Sargeneva's at 12k. Another wall coming in. Okay. And yep, there's the stun. And Muradin is fine. He's alive. That's what matters. He made it. He's still there. Kanye on the other hand. Oh, yes. That's a dead Sergeant Hammer. Blue team is not giving up on this. They still think they got a chance to not only force game number 5, but then also win it there. And they definitely do. I mean, this is a strong team that we're talking about here. And the victory in game number 1 was obviously great. And they could technically also have done a little bit more in game number 2. That was absolutely winnable. By now, though, we have them focusing on the next target, which in this case is Imperius. So Imperius is gone, and that brings them to level 10. And as I said before, oh, they are getting another kill, aren't they? Yeah, there's another wall. And Mal'Ganis. Nope, that's just too much for him. That's just simply too much. He was trying to get away there. He had some mobility. There was no healer in sight. And at the moment where he thought, okay, maybe I can still get away, all of a sudden, Sonya cuts his escape path off from the top and Muradin jumps in. So that's 4 kills to 2. Early level 10. Guys, the KDC gens, they are actually crushing the early game now. There had a couple of moments where they lost the objective, where it didn't look all too great, but now things have changed. I mean, blue team is all over the place now. But we get Leap, and we get the delivery system. The Wrath of the Anguirus. Talking about the delivery system! I've been talking about the entire time that I actually won the pizza, and I didn't get a pizza because I had a race coming up. I had my race, I won my race. Yep, I actually won the entire thing. So, very happy with that. And you know what that means? I'm gonna get delivery. I'm gonna get a pizza. If not today, then tomorrow. I absolutely freaking deserve it. So, I'm a happy panda there. Depends a little bit on when the games end, everything, of course. But at some point, next couple of days, it is pizza time. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna hire my own Imperius. I'm gonna be like, yep, you can just go straight pop the ult, my friend, and bring that pizza over. Pizza, pizza, pizza. Good old spicy pizza. Objective number 2. Khaldor just firing away one beam after another. And, well, Mal'Ganis, they are really going for him. I feel a little bit sorry for Simply at this point. Mal'Ganis is coming in as the Dreadlord he is, and then he just gets focused so damn hard that nobody else has a chance there. They are nearly even on the points for the objective though. 18 to 15. Mal'Ganis, again, the man needs more healing. They killed Urel, so at least it's a kill for a kill. But Mal'Ganis went in deep and then he just got crushed there. But the red team is still slightly ahead on the objective. Imperius does not connect the stun. Oh, they missed the Muradin kill. Avatar came out, but that was possible. That was absolutely possible to get the kill there. 2 more hits against minions and they at least have the objective. Frozen Punisher, but they lose Stukov. Demoted! Insta demotion for Stukov. Yeah, Admiral, my ass. Nope, 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 nope. I mean, you already know that Stukov is not really an Admiral because he's actually participating in the fighting. But anyways, demoted. 32,000 damage for Sergeant Hammer. We got 26,000 for Tassadar. And with the Frozen Punisher, I mean, who knows? They might be able to do some extra damage and take that fort out. Yeah, probably not. Sonya is at the top, though. Muradin is probably going to have a really rough time once that Sergeant Hammer gets to level 60. On the other hand, that's the second objective, and they haven't taken a fort out yet. Or, well, actually, they... No way. Nice! Who's a good minion? Who's a good minion? You're a good minion. Minion comes in and takes it down. Awesome. Love it. Yeah, calculated. Was that last hit? He died for that. Yeah. That's a good death. Take the major structure out as a minion. The time is limited anyways, so there it is. Experience lead still for the KD Seagens though. Oh, BFG and see ya! That was a neat kill. Tassadar is gone. Yep, nice. Tassadar can't eat a pizza, by the way. Have you ever thought about that? I'm just saying. But Tassadar doesn't have a mouth. First of all, he can't order one. If he tries, all that comes out is and then when he gets delivered, he can't eat it either. So that actually kind of sucks. I don't even know what Protoss eat. Probably Zerg tiers. But yeah. Red team is pushing it now. They got Sonya parked on the top lane. She's just doing her thing. The rest of the team is protecting Sergeant Hammer and is allowing them to get some extra damage out. Still stacks, of course, coming through for Cassia, who's now at 71. But it has slowed. It's a little bit slower right now. So... no. Somebody actually suggested a second ago that Protoss absorb nutrients and energy through their skin. That is disgusting. What happens if you're locked into a public bathroom? Bah! No wonder that Protoss are just so annoyed and so mad and so like cranky all the time. I would be too. Absolutely horrifying. So, what does Protoss Sexton look like? You just like slobber things on them? You have like some weird like strawberry jam and it just like gets slobbered on their skin or something? This is... honestly, why did we even open that Pandora's box there? That's disgusting. That, on the other hand, was a clean kill. That was a lead. That was a fantastic play by Stukov as a great follow-up. Fantastic, good follow-up. Kudos, thumbs up. And then, once again, they come in and they just murder Urel. She had no chance to pop her ult. And that was pretty sweet. So, right now, we have level 16 talents that are kicking in next. But momentum has shifted a little bit. Honestly, it just switches between the two teams here. And currently, it's very much so in the hands of the level 16 team. So, here we are. And that gives us Giant Killer. And Muradin might be a dwarf, but he is going to get giant damage from this. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it. Why the fuck does Giant Killer do extra damage to a dwarf? Who at Blizzard screwed that up? Like, Muradin at this... Muradin honestly is looking at this and he's like, am I a joke to you? Like, what? Seriously? How am I taking damage of this? How can you blind Illidan? It's the same thing. Somebody didn't really think these things through. There needed to be some kind of like, you know, quality team on the side of Blizzard. Quality assurance. And yeah, those guys apparently went on vacation early when the game was developed. What can I say? Next objective is up. Oh, this time Urel gets at least the ult out. Yeah, but the red team is on the move. The red team is on the move. Muradin is at the front, and Sergeant Hammer is enjoying a lot more damage currently because every single hit that she fires off against Muradin is going to bring her a little bit back to a nice little boost. 54,000 right there. So, careful, Mal'Ganis. Ah, nice Valkyrie. Perfectly played against Sergeant Hammer, and then bam, Cassia sends the tank packing. And oh my god, Tassadar with a nice kill against Sonya. It's a triple, baby! Yeah, Punisher. That jump would have been nice a little bit earlier. That might have saved someone here. But like this, no. What is Imperius doing? Like, yeah, dude, you're not gonna go 1v5 here. Can already tell you that's not happening. So you gotta take a chill pill. Look at those stacks on Cassia. Partly it's their fault. They really fed her early. They fed her a lot of stacks early, and well, she's taking advantage of them. Level 17, still a bit ahead. It's a weird game when you think about it, because look at the experience distribution, for example. Passive experience is better for the KD agents because they took so many structures out already. The blue team is still ahead though. Partly because they have much better hero experience, but also look at the difference in minion XP. That's actually bonkers. Mercenary experience is in the hands of the red team. They have a lot of advantages going for them, but they're still a level behind because they just didn't get as much lane XP as the opponent did. And Urel in particular has absolutely excelled there. But there are a lot of factors that are working for the KD agents. And catapults are just one of them. Have the KD agents won an objective? I think they did, right? No, they haven't. All of them went so far to the opponent. Muradin, still a bit jumpy. Great job. Unintentional, I promise. And Tassadar is just getting one storm out after another. I hate storms. I played Zerg in StarCraft, and every single time, you know, you ran around with a nice Zerg army, all of a sudden there's just like a couple of High Templars that bzzz, and everything is gone. It's ridiculous. So, Sergeant Hammer, still on the way through the middle here. Yeah, but again, you gotta be careful with that Cassia. Especially since she still has Valkyrie up. So, that's another one. Well, seems like the blue team is totally fine waiting for level 20. Red team is not as aggressive around forcing a fight as I thought. Neither are they getting all the lane experience. They might have a chance to catch enough experience so that level 20 is the talent that both of the teams will fight on during the next objective, but they definitely have to step it up just a little bit. Objective should be announced soon. They're already starting to time it over here. There's obviously another camp to be taken over on the right side. The problem for... If I was Cass, I don't think I would even like do anything here. Take the catapult out and that's it. Just don't send those minions over to the red team. You want to keep them just begging for experience. 30 seconds for half a level. They have the camp. Sonya is going to the top. And since the blue team is... they're going to get 20 here. Yeah, they're going to get 20. They see Rel and everyone now down at the bottom of the map, so they can easily go for this. They're going to grab that. A little bit more in the middle and they're going to be fine. No! No! Mal'Ganis! No, he's running it down mid. They're so close. Here's the 20. And, well, that's the KD gens. This is the best shot that they had all game to bring this to a final map. To game number 5. These are the plays right there. Those are the moves that they can make now in order to turn this around. And kind of like what we're seeing here. They're just saying, well, they have to make sure that they're not getting caught. So they are trying to buy a little bit of time, get some damage in on the keep, even if it's just a tiny little bit. They're forcing them to retreat. And once that also makes the Punisher defense a bit easier. They just have to make sure that they're timing their retreat perfectly. So, yeah, nice damage against the keep. I was just about to say, don't chase the heroes too much, because this is still gonna hurt. The catapult is gone, congratulations, but hello, can somebody deal with this? Fight over here is a 4 versus 4. Mal'Ganis is now slowly back, but yeah, that keep has taken way more damage than expected. Now, they're losing Imperius. But I think they can live with that, as long as this is being defended properly at the bottom of the map now. So yeah, it's 20 versus 20. That gives us actually the area crater for Sonya. And we're now having the ultra capacitors too. But that topside keep is super low. And down here, they get the fort. I don't think they can get anything else. Fort is all that you can realistically grab here. The keep, nah. Not with Sergeant Hammer sitting behind that wall and just doing damage. Maybe another fort in the middle. Yeah, that's definitely doable, but still. So we have 63,000 damage for Sergeant Hammer. 50,000 for Cassia. She is slowly getting there. Well, I mean, 100 and how many stacks? Do we have 124 already? 118, we're close. Again from Mal'Ganis, and here comes the big slap from Stukov. Nice. Haven't seen that all that much in a lot of these fights just yet. So yeah, Stukov being able to move in and just push him back is big. Now it's a 5 versus 5 again. Imperius is nearly there. Ready with the team. Next objective is at the top, but the red team has an inherent advantage through the fort that they're holding. And the fountain that comes with it, of course. So, 5 kills. 2-11. Yeah, blue team has really ramped the kill count up. And I mean, this started all with Murden just getting crushed time and time again. But right now... Yeah, okay, they're going for Mal'Ganis again. But he gets out. Ah, that was important. If Murden dies there, if that lurking arm from Stukov stays there and he just gets completely CC'd into it, can't use Avatar, then that's a problem. Catapults, talk about problems. Catapults are still a problem, especially at the top lane. Somebody has to go there and deal with the catapult, but that keep is so low that they really, really, really need to pay attention to that lane, or they're going to lose the keep to catapults, and then we're talking about core attacks. They're not moving. They're not going towards the top lane. They're going to lose that keep. Mark my words, there's a second catapult coming. They're going to lose that thing. Sergeant Hammer gets out. Now it's Cassia that gets attacked. Top side, the pressure continues. BFG. Nice. Sonya. I mean, she kind of stunned herself into that, but they get the kill on Muradin. And topside, the keep is now going to fall. I told you this is going to happen. And there it is. Keep is gone. More catapults from here on out for the KD agents. And they will go for the core. That is horrible for them. And you can make an argument, well, it's the top lane. Next objective is at the top lane. They got to win this anyways. That's kind of true. But if the opponent wins it, then it's now lights out. That goes for the core, and that's where you lose it. And if the game gets dragged out even more, then you still have the top lane problem. So, even with 130 stacks that Cassia brings in, that's a tall order. 60,000 damage for her, 84,000 for Sergeant Hammer. And, yeah, catapults will be a big deal. And of course, this is also a big deal. They have a wall and they have a fountain. They can fall back behind the wall, they can tap the fountain, whatever they want here. Muradin and Sonya back in a moment, already on their way. Oh boy, for the KD Seagens, this is heavily important. Yeah, and already the position slowly being taken by the red team as they're pushing the opponents off the shrine. And Sonya's just waiting for another leap here. Urel jumps in. Sonya is waiting. She wants that area creator again. They also combo that with very nicely with the BFG, which definitely makes sense. Going down to the bottom. Okay, Sonya not making a move yet. There's the delivery. Oh, and they go for 2 heroes at the same time. White main gets out. What about Cassia? Cassia is dead, and Muradin is dead too. That's their main damage gone. They're trying for Urel again. And they're also going for White main, who also dies. That's 3 heroes dead already. Objective at the top, and they can go for the core here. That one was huge. That was big. They're not even bothering this time. Well, Sonya might bother from the looks of it and just play this safe. But the rest of them is already... They're already on the core. Setting Sergeant Hammer up right here so that she can take care of the shield. There's obviously only 2 defender. Cassada is being chased around as is already. The shield is slowly being removed. Sonya is at 30 stacks. So again, she's still on the shrine. Okay. Shouldn't lose any heroes here. But the damage, again, the damage is now penetrating the core hit points directly. So, oh, they go for Urel again. And this time she's gone too. Yeah, well, that's game. Nicely done. KD Agents move on to the winner bracket final. Good for them. They're going to take this one. Sonya's on the way with the Punisher now. Even with the defenders respawning, they're still at a numbers disadvantage. So highly unlikely that they can play this. Then again, they take Sergeant Hammer down, but of course, yeah, this is going to be it. The KDC Gens, they drop down into the loser's bracket as the red team advances to the next match in the winner bracket. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.